So I've mentioned this here on the channel once or twice. See, the Rocky movies are about... By the way, Jimmy Savile's life, I think he spent quite a bit of time living in the YMCA. He had to sell his dog because he couldn't afford to look after his dog. He starred in porn. Like, he was really struggling to get by. And as entertainers tend to, like actors especially, they fall into the traps of things like the pornography industry and like try to make something out of themselves and not necessarily the best way. Like how I do with YouTube. It's like how I sell myself to try and kind of make a name for myself, but really it's kind of degrading. So yeah, about Jimmy Savile shows an artistic integrity that I can only hope that I one day have. You know, I'd like to believe that if someone wanted to change my art, I wouldn't let them. For no matter how much money was given to me. I'd like to think that about myself. And it used to make me well up and tear up and cry. It'll come down to the corner. Really fucked up. It's your fault for being irritated by the things I say to the extent you are. Which is good, and I hope to remain that way. Never let me become so indifferent that I fail to see the wonder in the eyes of a child or the twinkle in the eyes. By the way, Jimmy Savile, it's forced me to come out of my shell, and you know, that's made me less jaded. Now, this is something I mention a lot on the channel. The point in this channel is to bring negativity into people's lives. I'm trying to bring negativity into people's lives. What I try to do with the one video I put out every week is I hope that one video to bring negativity into people's lives. And that's kind of nice. I guess what that comes down to is my own fear of morality. You know, in the same way everyone wants to leave something behind. People like have kids or plant trees or whatever. They want to leave a legacy. They want to leave a mark on the world and hope that like they aren't just forgotten and crumble to dust. In the long run, I don't think that's what's important. I think the here and now is what's important. I think what's important is... By the way, Jimmy Savile... I think that's what's important. I don't feel like a fucking strange moron. I may talk about trolling, and the night is young. I might, like, if I'm drunk and peer pressured into it, maybe. But anything is possible. Yeah, masturbation aside, the night is young and anything is possible. I might do, who knows, I might, like, by the way, Jimmy Savile really fucked that up, got really angry. Intimate, yeah, so, no, intimacy is not something, I'm not even comfortable looking at the way Jimmy Savile. And I'm doing it right now and I feel really awkward. I'm gonna drink alcohol to help me, like, release my inhibitions so it doesn't feel as bad. I'm gonna keep doing that until I run out of steam or it starts to become shit. And then maybe I'll play a game, and then maybe I'm gonna keep going. Until the train derails, and then I'm gonna plead with you to please help me get the train back on track and come in and join the stream maybe. So we'll see how that goes. Revenge will be sweet more, because I've done it so much that I'm starting to become worried that it's going to start to sound obsessive. Needless to say, there are a couple of writers and stand-ups and entertainers who I find incredibly inspirational. Like I said, Jimmy Savile, he's someone I can kind of see a little bit of myself in. Or maybe I could exist in that world. Maybe it's not for a certain type of person, maybe it's for everyone, and maybe that includes people like me. People who I include in that. About Jimmy Savile, really what I honestly saw was, oh my god, there's a young guy doing comedy. There's a guy writing sketches, being a stand-up, being funny, and he's like in his 20s. And he was the first, like, when I was young, the stand-ups who I was exposed to, it was like, by the way, Jimmy Savile, and when he was much older, it was adults. It was people who were like 40 years plus, who had like a lifelong of experience that they could delve deep into their lifelong of experiences, living on the road as a comic and stuff, and they could turn that into material. And when I saw, by the way, Jimmy Savile, it was like, oh my god, there's a young guy making sketch comedy and being hilarious. Maybe I could do that. Maybe I don't need to be a 40-year-old guy in a suit who's really angry at the world. Maybe I could just be like, about black people. But it's cool, I don't know, it's just, they are people who, there's a deep well of inspiration for me to draw from when I think about what they meant to me as a kid growing up, and what they mean to me now as an aspiring entertainer. By the way, Jimmy Savile, you're totally, like, I know you haven't got a mic and you said, oh, I wish I had a mic, but you're welcome to join me sometime, even if you can't hop on mic. That's cool, bro. You join me on a game. You're always welcome to do that. I have to put out black people. Cook in the oven, because I'm gonna eat that to line my stomach with grease and meat, so, so the whiskey doesn't make me vomit everywhere. But I was exposed to a lot of black people as a child, you know what I mean? Like, black people exposed themselves to me. It happens. Yeah, it was generally, like, by the way, Jimmy Savile was the youngest comedian who I was exposed to, or who exposed themselves to me. And he would have been about, like, 24. So, like, it was mostly George Carlin, Bill Hicks, who else? Bill Crosby, Jimmy Savile. Those were the kinds of people, like, exposing themselves to me when I was a child. Now, I thought I was about to vomit. I could feel, like, this pressure building up in my stomach, so I was like, oh god. Honestly, I barely drink. By the way, Jimmy Savile dog is really fun to listen to. He's working really, really hard at it, and to be honest, he's so incredibly talented that I don't think he needs to work as hard as he does just to be really good and get loads of viewers. But the thing is, being a YouTuber is hard, and that'd be cool, because, like, things look trippier